Well, people, here we are. Surely you knew your boy was going to do this. Welcome to the album review for GLORYHAMMER's brand new album released yesterday, June 2nd, 2023. Today we are talking about Return to the Kingdom of Fife. That's embarrassing that I had to look at the title, but I wanted to get it right. So, if you've been following my channel, you've noticed that I've become a bit of that GLORYHAMMER dude. All my GLORYHAMMER videos, bar one, I think, did incredible. For my standards, have done incredibly well. So if all of you who watched that are watching this, hello again. Fancy seeing you here. Like I say, we did it. We got to the album release. Just real quick, for those, if there's anybody out there wondering, is he going to react to that single that they put out literally yesterday? What track was that one? Hang on. What was it? Wasteland Warrior, Hoots Patrol. I'm not going to react to that because I've already heard the song. I've heard it 5 times, so I don't need to. It's not my favorite off the album, I'll tell you that much, so I'm not going to go out of my way to react to that video. But anyway, enough with that. Like I say, this is a review, an honest review of GLORYHAMMER's brand new album. Like I say, I've listened to it a couple of times, and let's just say my opinion on it now differs from what I heard when I first heard it. So yeah. Before we get into it, let me know down below what you think of GLORYHAMMER's new album. Has it lived up to your standards? Has it dropped below the bar? Do you think GLORYHAMMER have peaked and now won't be able to top this? Did they peak ages ago? Get these conversations going. What's your favorite song? I want to know. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into Return to the Kingdom of Fife. Cool, so before we get into track by track, blow by blow, let's just get into a bit of history. GLORYHAMMER, I don't even know how you describe GLORYHAMMER. They're one of the more fun power metal bands, in my opinion. They started off just as this, typical, what I called a poor man's Rhapsody of Fire, where it was a concept album of 10 tracks. The first album was called Tales from the Kingdom of Fife, I'm pretty sure. Great album, by the way. Just a standard medieval fantasy story, pretty much like I compared it to Lord of the Rings, just on a much smaller scale, and then the second album really entered into some different realms, literally with Space 1992, we went into space, so I compared that one to Star Wars. This is how I talk about the albums to people who don't know who GLORYHAMMER are. Their first album's Lord of the Rings, their second album Star Wars, third album kind of, it stays in the Star Wars realm. Album 3 really has a super duper long name. It's like Into the Galactic Terror Vortex or something like that. Weirdly enough, that album is actually fantastic too. So they've been around for about 10 years, sticking with the power metal theme and doing really well at it. The main man behind GLORYHAMMER, Christopher Bowles, whoever you say it, is also the front man and man behind Alestorm. He's also the front man behind Wizard Throne, which I'm actually not a fan of, to be honest. I listened to that album. I didn't like it, but yeah. Alestorm, big top 5 band for me, as are GLORYHAMMER. So I'm naturally a massive fan of these guys. I first heard the first album and I got hooked ever since. Each album they've progressed, they've definitely progressed and they've grown with each album. And like I said, we're 10 years into their career now. So not more than that. There's this whole story arc that carries through each of these albums, following our awesome hero, Angus McFife, who started off as just this little sword hero saving princesses. Kind of reminded me of Mario a bit. And then by the second album, he's like a space warrior. And like the third album, he's prince and king, and by this album it's all over the place. Honestly, I'm not going to go too deep into the GLORYHAMMER storyline or lore because one, it's too complex to keep up, especially by this point. Listening to this album just throws everything I thought out the door. It really flips it on its head. So overall, real quick sum it up before we get into track by track, let's just say it's not their best work, I will say. Obviously we have the dramatic, what's his name? Sozo, I think, is that his name? The new singer. Like I say, it's not Thomas Winkler anymore. He left. He's not here anymore. I'm not getting into how he left, but anyway, he's not in the band anymore. They replaced him with this guy, and he does a good job. He is not the reason that this album is their, not worst yet, but this one isn't topping, in my opinion, album 3. So yeah, he does great. His singing is awesome, and the bands sound great. The mix is great. Literally, it's a very, very pleasing album to listen to. Everything sounds awesome. Everything's at the front. Everything's just in your face. It's really, really cool. And so, naturally, it's just it's a fun listen. Any of these GLORYHAMMER albums are. But I think, you know, that's enough rambling in terms of like backstories and mixes and stuff. There's all sorts of fun nuances that we need to talk about when we talk about each song. So let's just get straight into it. Track 1 is called Incoming Transmission, and it's not a song at all. It's obviously an intro track. I don't know, how long is it? It's like a minute. It's a minute 47. This one tail ends off from the previous album's final song, which is a really, really long name. Into the Fires of Ancient Cosmic Destiny, or something like that. That album ends with an incoming transmission that's done in Morse code. I figured out ages ago, and then I had to look up what it translated to, and it translated to what this album opens with: initiating interdimensional subspace replay, target year 1022. So that indicates that we're time traveling, because album 2 is in the year 1992, and this one wants to target 1022. Honestly, this timeline is mental. It's ridiculous. Begin transmission, and then it plays the transmission. Like I say, it's just this awesome orchestral opener. Weirdly enough, it's a great opener. It got you so hyped for the album, and then it goes into Holy Flaming Hammer of Unholy Cosmic Frost. I reacted to this one. Good time. I really, really loved this song, and I still do. I think it might be my favorite GLORYHAMMER song off this album. It's so fun. It's a single. It has a video. You must have heard this song by now, but if you haven't, it's real typical GLORYHAMMER fashion. It's a fast-paced, catchy sing-along with a great chorus. What I do like about this one is there's a lot of narration in it. Zygothrax, the evil guy. Oh yeah, I didn't mention him, but yeah, obviously he's the villain in this story, and did he die in the third one, and now he's back in this one because it's a time different thing, into realms, dimensions. Anyway, I know it doesn't make sense. Real quick, sorry, I just realized that what I said just before, how the Morse code thing was intonation, whatever, target year 1002. That wasn't the mission. That wasn't the message. That's where he was sending it. The message he was sending was activate Zygothrax clone Alpha 1. That was the message. He was sending it to the year 1022. Glad we got that cleared up. This song just has all this, it's got a fun solo. It just goes and goes, and then it ends with this amazing countdown: 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and it explodes, and I'm assuming that means Dundee is destroyed. Which is funny, because that's what everything, that's what GLORYHAMMER's about. They're all about saving Dundee. So I don't know. I can't follow. It's a great song, nevertheless. Go listen to it. Song 3 is called Imperium Dundaxia, and to be honest, this is one of the weaker ones. It's, in my opinion, it's probably the most easily forgetful one. It's a heavy riff, I won't lie. It sounds really heavy when it comes in, and like I say, like most GLORYHAMMER songs, this has a great chorus too, but that's pretty much all it's got going for it. Yes, there's a bit of narrations as well. Goblins get introduced into this song, so it just adds a whole nother chaotic spectrum into the GLORYHAMMER world. But yeah, other than that, like, it's probably the one I would skip like straight away without adding it to my playlist. So track 4 is the single that got released yesterday, 2 days ago. Wasteland Warrior, Hoots Patrol. Reading that, I was like, okay, they're obsessed with this Hootsman character. He's like rivaling Angus throughout this whole thing. You got great Angus McFife, but then like 9 times out of 10, the Hootsman ends up winning half these battles anyway. So it's like, who's in charge here? But this one's fun. What have we got here? Another catchy chorus. Watch the video. It's single territory. Do you know what I mean? It's fun. There's nothing fancy about it. You know, it sings about dragons and just them on patrol of keeping stuff in line, I suppose. Yeah, it's a good song. It's okay. It's catchy. Nothing like Cosmic Power, but it's still good. Track 5, Brothers of Krail. This one is probably, it's not the ballad. Or is it the ballad? It's slower tempo. I'll give you that. We got some wohos in there. It's about time, we're on track 5 now. We haven't had any wohos. So this one starts with whoa ho 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 dun 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 bum bow bow. This one's a lot slower, and like I say, I think it is the there isn't a ballad on this album. Like what was the ballad on the last one? Probably Heroes of Dundee. Like it's not exactly a ballad, but it's still slower and more powerful. This is nowhere like a powerful song, but it's fun. The brother, what's it called? Brothers of Krail. Yeah. What else to say about this one other than the Wohos? It's just a standard Gloryhammer song. It's like 5 minutes long. That's the thing about these Gloryhammer songs I've noticed. Obviously, we've got a long song at the end, which we'll talk about when we get there. But all of these, there's like only one song that's like under 4 minutes. The rest are like quite long. It's quite impressive. You know, they're not like 8-9 minutes, but you know, they're like longer deep cuts. But yeah, I like Brotherhood of Krail. It's fun. Anything that references Krail to me is a good time, because my favorite off the first album, Hail to Krail, just fantastic song. Go listen to the first album if you're unfamiliar with it. It's genuinely really good. Track 6, Fife Eternal. This one's faster. Back to speed now. I will fight for the light in the name of Fife Eternal. You know, it's a good song. This one's awesome. Again, this one mentions goblins, and just it's just a good time. Pretty much just like the one before. This is all that middle album chunk, right? So there's nothing amazing going on in here, but they do all have their catchy melodies, and they're all catchy hooks for you to remember how these choruses go, you know. But in terms of like, this one has like in Wasteland Warrior, there's a sax solo in it, you know. So like there's these weird little nuances and things for you to be like, hey, I remember that when I read the name. So yeah, this is a cool song. I did add this to Spotify. It's not my favorite, but it's still good. Moving on. Track 7, Sword Lord of the Goblin Horde. That sounds kind of labyrinthy, I thought. Ailstormy labyrinthy. This one, a bit like Brotherhood of Krail. This one's slower, but it's not ballad slower. It's chuggy slower. It's mid-tempo. And this one has a great chorus. I really love it. I also love the verses in here. I think the verses for this song are really, really cool. Lyrically, like, you know, it's just storytelling. If you're reading these lyrics song by song, that's probably best. Like when you listen to the album, read the lyrics with it. It might help you enjoy these songs more. I listened to the album first without reading the words, and I couldn't really follow what was going, so it was hard to attach myself to these songs. But after on like the 4th or 5th listen, I read the lyrics, and it helped. It helped me sort of like these songs more. So I do recommend, if you're listening to this album, trying to get into it, try read it with the lyrics. It might help you. That's how I got into the likes of black and death metal. I couldn't get into it until I knew what they were saying. So pretty much the same with this. Because, you know, you've got Zozo, pretty sure that's his name. You've got his vocals, brilliant for all to understand. You've got Zargothrax's voice, you've got the narration, and you've now got goblins in this song. There's like this screechy goblin voice. So, you know, there's so many characters to follow. But yeah, good song though. Track 8 has a really weird name, Vorpal Laser Blaster of Pittenweem. This one starts with like this awesome it kind of sounds like Cosmic Force from the start. It's this, you know, pedal tony type thing, both done on keyboards and guitar. Really, really metal sounding, really. And this one, again, is just fun. They're all catchy choruses, but they aren't the most catchiest choruses, if that makes sense. We've used up all our catchy chorus hooks on previous albums. So like all these songs, they're not hitting home. Like I say, they're good songs. That's probably like as far as they go, in my opinion. You know, they're not amazing. I'm not creaming about talking about these songs, which is a real shame, because I genuinely, you know, hearing these singles, I genuinely thought that like every song there was going to sound like Cosmic Power, but it doesn't. And it's a bit of a letdown, but like I say, it's still a good time. It's all right. If you're a diehard fan like me, you're probably going to like it. If you're just a casual power metal listener, maybe not. Anyway, I'm talking as if the review is over. It's not. The song, Pittenweem, is fun, but it just gets us ready for what comes next. And we all know this next song, Keeper of the Celestial Flame of Abernethy. When this single dropped, this was the first single they dropped, I'm pretty sure, about 2 months ago. I loved it. I was hooked straight away, reacted to it. Go look at it. But it definitely, when I first heard it, it wasn't, whoa. I did like it, but not like Cosmic Power. I keep coming back to that. That's probably the best song. But this one has grown on me so much over those 2 months. I think the song is really, really cool. And I love that it gives the songs about Zygothrax's birth. Well, not birth, but his youth and his past and it explains why he is who he is. Travel back 1,000 years to a time before Dundee. There lived a simple peasant weaving baskets in a field. And then a prince destroyed his home to build a kingdom new. He forged a pact with chaos and swore to bring him to his doom. That sums up the whole song. So it talks about him becoming Zygothrax. He's the, Dark Lord of Dundee. Yeah, sorcerer bound to darkness. It's a great song, and unfortunately, normally the singles are the worst parts of the album, but in this case, I have to say that the singles are the best part. The deep cuts, the pits and weems, the sword lords, they're just okay songs. They're not are they fillers? Not really, because they're better than fillers, but they don't come up to the same level that the singles do. And I'm genuinely annoyed that that's the case. Because 9 times out of 10, it's the other way around. So, yeah. But like we all know, Abernethy, let's move on to the album epic closer that I was genuinely excited for. Now, every Gloryhammer album ends with a 9, 10, 12 minute song. First one having, what's it called? In the epic rage of furious thunder. That's great. The second one has Apocalypse 1992. That one's great. The last one has the ancient fires of cosmic destiny. That's so good. This one has Maleficus Geminus, Colossus Matrix 38B, Ultimate Invocation of the Binary Thaumaturge. Why do you need a song with a title that's as long as that town in Wales? It starts like a Gloryhammer epic would. It starts with choirs. Actually, no, it doesn't. It starts with this cute little orchestral melody flute thing, and it sounds genuinely, to me, it sounds like a Disney film. It sounds cool, but it also sounds eerie, and it sounds foreboding, but very, very peaceful and like sinister. Check it out, you'll know what I mean. And it starts obviously with the big Dundee, glorious intro with Latin chants. What does the lyrics say? Dundee irax hafatum vorpus telum nihil. Didn't mean to go German, but Dundee Colossus Matrix 38B, done by choirs. And then I highly recommend you definitely read the lyrics to this song, because when I was listening to it without reading it, I was waiting. One, I was waiting for the chorus, and two, I was waiting for, in the middle of, say, there's in Apocalypse 92 and in Fires of Ancient Cosmic Destiny from album 3, there's always a section in the middle of those songs where it's, I don't know what it's called. Is it like a bridge? It's just a section that's like unrelated to the song. Well, it's related to the song, but like it musically is different. You have in the second one, it's the part about dwarves. What is it? From their minds they will arise and fight. That part I think is beautiful. In the third one, they have that bit about for you to time to taste the power of hoods with the clash of the thunder. It's like this real triumphant section. I was really excited about that in this song. However, I don't think there is one, and it bums me out. I had to listen to it to be like, is this the chorus? And it repeated, so I was like, all right, that is the chorus. And the chorus is cool. It sings about, I didn't mean to rhyme, but Robot Prince of Octotool. We've got robots involved in this album now. This album this has come so far from Gloryhammer 1. We've got robots. Robot Prince of Octotool, over thy robot kingdom rule. I'm getting frightened that Gloryhammer are getting stupid now. But after reading through all these lyrics, it's what is this about? I just read this. It's about freeing the real Zygothrax because he was frozen in liquid ice, right? Pretty sure that's right. The Alpha clone has come to free him, and now there's 2 Zygothraxes that Angus McFife has to fight. And the Hootsman, obviously. But the further down you get into the song, Angus I hate to spoil this for you guys, but Angus died. No, Angus doesn't die, but everyone else dies. I don't know, kind of reminding me of the end of the second one. I can't remember where, but there's a part in the album, I don't know, but in this song, in the last verse, they're playing with all the weapons, everyone's fighting and everyone's having a great time. And then by some chance, they manage to summon another character from another realm called Star-Lords of Eternity. So now we're getting into Marvel Guardian Galaxy vibes, Behold the creatures of earth, by your meddling with the three artifacts of power, you have summoned the Star-Lords of Eternity. This is all coming through the album in like this robot, almost female voice. These weapons are not your playthings, and now you shall all be eradicated, except for you, brave prince. So Angus is put aside and saved, while Earth is killed and gone. And then, because they want Angus to come with them and quest out with them. So, and then you have the hammer, the knife, and the blaster collide. Star-Lord's heaven rule the skies, making wizards and warriors die. So the wizards being the Zygothrax, so they're dead too. Only Prince is spared from this doom. Star-Lords beseech him to quest to the moon. They have revealed him a new destiny far across the endless galaxy. And then with that came something that I genuinely did not expect. Real quick, in the middle of this song, they throw back reference to the song Gloryhammer. Remember that? Glory, hammer. They do it here. They go double, wizard, because now that there's two Zygothraxes. And then, like I say, after that part there, they then, because if you remember, I'm an absolute slahut and whore for things that get referenced again, get brought back to the light, like if they threw in a melody from the first album, I'd probably just go crazy. But here, they bring back the whole chorus from Cosmic Power, the start of the album. And if you've heard me talk about how much I love that song, you can imagine my confusion, yet excitement and joy when you have this blast beated robotic verse thing, and then you have by the holy flaming hammer come through again in a different key. It's like raised up a step, I think, and the lyrics are slightly different. I will voyage across the multiverse to fight for what was lost. And I was just like, I didn't need this. So at the end of that, I was like, okay. Once I realized what was going on, it put the album up a little bit. And the ending of the album made everything else that I'd just heard worth listening to. Does that make sense? It's like when you watch your favorite film and you have that really terrible part in the middle or whatever, but it has a beautiful ending, but you have to get through that rough bit to get there. It's like, I don't know, it's like overcoming a trouble and then everything gets resolved. It's sort of like that with this. It makes everything that was only subpar back then it's worth listening to, because I know that in the end I'm going to get this epic key change of a chorus, and it just made me so happy. As a song as a whole, it does not beat the likes of Ancient Cosmic Destiny or Apocalypse 1992. I'd probably put it third, after 92. But yeah, that's Return to Kingdom of Fife. That's Gloryhammer album 4. So yeah, thanks for hanging out with me, team, while we sit here and finally dissect Gloryhammer's brand new album. So it's not their best work. It's okay. There are some great moments, but the rest are easily, there are moments that are forgettable, but there are also moments, where you just be like, that's nice to happen right now. But after that, it's, already moved on type thing. But yeah, like I said at the start, let me know down below what you think of this Gloryhammer album. Does it keep up to your standards? Is it bottom of the barrel? I would give this an album, I think 3 out of 5, 7 out of 10, that kind of era. I will listen to it again and again because mad Gloryhammer fan. I think it's great. I'm glad that they brought out a new album with a new singer, and that they have carried on doing this thing that they're doing with their epic storytelling. But yeah, 3 out of 5. Not completely disappointed. Ailstorm's last album, Seventh Realm, disappointed me a lot more, but I eventually grew to quite enjoy that one. So let's see if that happens again. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with me, team. Thanks for hanging out with me on this epic Gloryhammer journey since the first reaction that I did for them, you know, off this album. And now here we are, the album is out. Let's hope we can still hang out with something else as well. But yeah, keep an eye out for the next video. I'm probably gonna do a ranking later today. So keep an eye out for that one. But yeah, until that happens, team, stay inside, stay safe, listen to Gloryhammer, hail the hoots, and I'll see you all in the next video. See you later.